Hello everyone, welcome to this super new moon in Libra forecast. It is this evening. I'm a bit tired but also a bit excited because tomorrow we are going to start some classes in English. So I will be teaching Kabbalah 1 and then the Rainbow Bridge, an evening class for the first time. So I'm very excited because things are really, we're getting the school office is getting many requests from different countries all around the world. So we are very happy to start these evening classes and in English. And because this is a time of new beginning, a new energy moving through, so I feel it's really part of this big change that's going to happen, that's happening. Should you be interested in taking part in it or knowing about some some English classes in the future, please do not hesitate to call the school office or to visit our website www.internationalrelationschool.com, or as I said, contact the school office at the email secretary@internationalrelationschool.com. In the previous videos I did talk about these corridors of moons that are going to really end in December with this this eclipse, which is going to represent a big change. And slowly, we are going. Change is not going to happen. Immediately. Our mind would like things to be very quick and to happen quickly, but nature is not like that. Nature takes time because it actually slowly cook things until they get ready to manifest what they have to manifest. So our life is part of that process, so we can't really change until we have all the different aspects of a situation have come together. And as William Shakespeare used to say, things in the outer world will be ready when things in the inner world will be ready. So this lunation is going to happen in Libra. It's a super moon, which means that it is actually the closest super moon of the year. So it's going to be quite intense, but also quite magical, because it's going to put us in a very situation, because the moon is going to be in Libra. Libra is about commitment. It is the star sign, the only inanimate star sign of the zodiac, and actually it is associated to green, to color green, which is also the color of the heart chakra, which means that Libra is asking us to connect to our to our true heart. How do we connect to our heart? Through what we experience in relationship. On the other side of Libra, opposite to it, we have Aries. Aries is the star sign is red and is a star sign of the mind. It's associated to the head in the physical body. So if we look at the situation, we have the head and the heart, and then on another level, Libra is about commitment, about relationship, about marriage, in a marriage especially. And then Aries is about the I am. So is the I am versus the we are. So the main point here is getting to understand how much we invest in a relationship, and especially how much we invest in the inner relationship with the true self, because every time we forget what we are and we enter in a sort of a compromise with our heart in order to maintain a balance, because Libra is about balance, is about balancing things, we and every time we do that and we give away part of ourselves, we actually betray ourselves deeply. And then that is going to affect us not only personally, but in everything in our life, because it's a sort of one of the biggest betrayal we can really do. This lunation, as I said, is going to be intense because it's going to trigger things that are going to make us contemplate, ponder about our position, our behavior, our attitude in relation to what happens on the outside, and as a consequence what we leave behind within ourselves, because it's really a sort of contemplation in the sense of, are you going to keep behaving in the old way, or are you going to really change things and then respond instead of react, respond in a new way? So it's a lunation that is related to a really deep metamorphosis, because the Sabian symbol is a butterfly with a third wing on the left side. So it's talking about a sort of a spiritual rebirth, asking us to change attitude, to develop something within us in a new way. But it's also talking about a sort of a transformation from a chrysalis into a butterfly itself, because the moon is asking us to change the way we speak, to open ourselves to new potentialities, to leave behind the old frustration that we experienced in the last few months, and have an energy, because Mars is in Aries, its own sign, one of its own sign, because it's also Mars rules also Scorpio, and also rules Sagittarius on a hierarchical level. Mars is retrograde, conjunct Eris, the goddess of discord, and is actually moving the energy, instead of moving it, directing it outwardly, is going to bring it back within ourselves, so that we can really have the strength, the courage, the energy to bring it out. We are asked to take a new step in evolution, and then also because the opposite sign is Aries, opposite sign to Libra is Aries, is also talking about the strong need to create boundaries. When we allow people to, when we compromise, we actually allow people to come break our boundaries, to allow them to do what they want. And then actually the day of the lunation is 16, which is used and being used, because most of the time in relationship we compromise because we want to get something back, whether it's a balance, whether it's peace, whether it's a personal interest, it doesn't really matter. We use people and then to get something, and then in the end we are used as well. So this lunation is really asking us to take a new step, to release, to free ourselves from the old inhibition, and then to the old way of behaving, to the way we think, and then don't feel separate anymore, don't lose our own character anymore, but choose to survive choose to be what we are meant to be, to expand our horizon, to create new ways of life, to create a new way of being, to respond in a new way, and actually Venus is going to be one of the ruler of Libra, is in the Sabian symbol is a volcanic eruption, which is going to have an explosion to attain a transfigured state. So we need to break the old way of being to be what we are, who we are. So this balance is going, the balance between the inner and the outer, between who we think we are and what we really are, is really going out of balance. And Mars and the Moon and then the other planet are going to push us in that direction. What is very beautiful is that there will be the Sun and the Moon, and then Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter and Pallas Athena, and then Mars and Aries and also Lilith are going to create, you can see this in red, a T-square. This T-square is going to create a lot of tension, but also to break down the old way of being, because Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter and Pallas Athena are in Capricorn. Capricorn is really about, we have built something which has only become a form with no essence, because it was completely based on our thinking or our mind. Now it's collapsing because Pluto and Saturn are destroying, okay? And then, but Mars is really, and Aries are pushing that energy to break it, to make it collapse. So we may experience quite a bit of tension inside ourselves, because that's the purpose. On the other side, there is a beautiful, fantastic grand trine, Earth grand trine, between the three planets that rule Libra esoterically. So we have Saturn in Capricorn, we have Earth sign, we have Uranus in Taurus at 9 degrees, Earth sign, and we have Venus in Virgo, 16 degrees Earth sign. So, what this is all about? Uranus in Taurus is about breaking the old concept about self-value, okay? Breaking, because Taurus is really about self-value, you know. What are you worthy? And it depends, normally it's, you know, Taurus believes that it depends on what I have, what I possess, what I control. But Uranus is the revolution, so it's going to change that. Venus is in Libra, and then, no, sorry, in Virgo, and is about desire. Desire, what is really my desire? About what I have in the material world, because Virgo is very materialistic on one level, but Virgo is also healing. So it's asking us to look beyond what we see on the surface. And on the other side, so it's also our daily life, redirecting, changing the direction of our daily life. And then Saturn, as I said, is in Taurus, Taurus Capricorn, and is about the point of crisis of it creates a point of Capricorn creates a point of crisis where we really need to. It's also the period of arresting, periodic arresting. So something is going to end. It's going to, the energy of the Earth energy is going to break, but because it's a grand trine, it's going to recreate something completely new. So we see that a new balance, a new equilibrium is going to be created. So a big breakthrough, but also a big rebirth happening. So if we allow that to happen, if we really follow what we feel, if we allow that transformation coming from within, we don't control the energy, but we flow with it, this new moon is going to bring, you know, because a new moon is about planting the seed of something new, is going to plant a new seed for a new way of being to come. Many people, we are going to experience, they tell me that they feel separated, they feel they are living at two lives, two level of beings. This is because we are moving from the old paradigm, the old way of being, what we call the third dimension, and moving into the new dimension, the fourth or fifth dimension, depending on the system we use. System related to 7 dimension, densities. We have the 4th dimension. If we use the 12 densities, we have the 5th dimension. But that doesn't really matter. The energy is exactly the same. Or if we use the chakras, it's about moving from the 3rd to the 4th chakra. So because we are moving, we are in the the land that doesn't belong to anyone, because we don't belong to the old part, the old way of being, but we're neither in the new way of being. So because we feel that, we are experiencing the sort of knowing where we are, feeling alien, we're living in a sort of an alien environment. But the North Node and the South Node in Gemini and Sagittarius are talking about a big bioenergetic rebuilding that we are going to go through. So big is a huge change, a huge shift. And in order to go through that shift, to that energy, we need to touch water, because Mercury at the time of this lunation is going to be at 11 degrees Scorpio, and we know Mercury, planet Mercury, is the messenger of the gods, going from the lower to the communicating between humanity, bringing messaging between humanity and the gods. And we know Mercury has wings. How do you feel with your wings in water? Because Scorpio is about water. In autumn, in the water that belong to the season of autumn, to fall. It's unpleasant. Water in autumn is unpleasant, is really muddy, is really heavy. So we feel we can't get out of it. So our mind is going to go, because Mercury is the mind, is the intellect, to going into those water. And because it's a big trine with Neptune in Pisces, that energy, watery energy, will be very strong. So we don't have to worry about what we feel, how we feel, if we feel like crying, if we have crisis, watery crisis means feeling like teary, feeling the heaviness of the moment, because that is bringing a big shift and a big change. And where were we born? We were born in water, in the womb. So we are going back to the water to be reborn completely. So when we're going to enter in Scorpio next month, we are going to experience a big ending, because Scorpio is about death and rebirth. So it's really a very slow process, because nature is very slow, but we don't have to worry about it. That's what the universe is asking us. 2020 is about is a number that comes out from the addition of all the letters of the word death in English, but also in esoteric numerology it means gestation. So we are really in the big womb of life, going through big shift, and relationship are the way through which we experience that huge shift. Because do I want to compromise again? Do I want to leave myself behind again? Do I really want to balance again the outer relation, what I feel? I'm not happy anymore, can't do it anymore. So this big release from inhibition has the purpose of making us fulfill our true creating function, helping us taking the responsibility for who we truly are and what we feel we are meant to be. We are on probation. So this lunation happening on the 16th, so the day after tomorrow, is really about what is love. In sacred numerology, 16 is love. So is, in the esoteric tarot, the mind of God in the heart of man. What is love? What are you doing it for? Ask yourself truly what is love, because there is no fear in love. And then it's the number that is related to destruction and rebuilding. So the role of karma is to create an evolution, so it's breaking down things to create a new way of being. And then we have to stop feeling like a victim. And the number of the months, 10 in esoteric numerology is dependency. We call it the child that doesn't want to leave the skirt of the mother. So it's about being dependent, not wanting to grow. And it's very interesting that the degree of the moon and the sun, because when we have a new moon, the sun and the moon are at the same degree, is 23, which is called in esoteric numerology Peter Pan, not wanting to grow. So are you still dependent, or do you want really to be yourself? Leave the old way of being behind. So, and the 16 and 10 is a 26, which is get off the cliff. Go for your inner alignment. And the total addition of the day is a 30, which is uplift yourself. In the Hebrew letters, 30 is associated to the letter Lamed. Lamed is really about the contemplation of the heart, and is the whip. So what we push, we use that for animals to push them forward, and joining together our heart and our mind and act upon. So how do we move out? How do we push out our energy in the world? So Libra is about contemplation, and so it's really a big time for looking at the situation we are in, looking at how we deal with others, looking at the sort of betrayal we do when we relate, in a betrayal, and then choose to be who we're meant to be, because 30, Lelamed, is really saying, act upon your words. Don't just speak. It's really about teaching, because as you teach, you become. So we have to stop just speaking about things, speaking about love, speaking about being yourself or whatever. Is really about living it, being it. And 16, which is a 7, it adds up to 7, it's a fusion, the fusion of the personality with the soul. And the 10 is a 1, so it's a courage. The courage, 1 is a courage to destroy the old and bring something completely new. So October has the energy of 14, because to find the energy of a month, you take the number of the month, 10, and you add together the number of the year. So 2020 is a 4, so it's a 14, and 14 is about change, it's about waking up, it's the Kundalini energy, and is really the power of the word. So look at how you speak, what you say to yourself, to others, in order to get what, okay? So it's the moon is 23 degree and 53 minutes. So as I said, stop running away from taking the responsibility of who we are. 53 is stop fighting with yourself, and then the 23 is a 5, and the 53 is a 8, which is about destroying the old mind. 8. The 8 grinds the 5, the old mind, the old way of being, and it's about growth and change, and give up the old. 13, give up the old, the death of the old self, and then bring a new paradigm, bring a new energy. So this moon is also conjunct the fixed star Spica, which in the old time used to be related to the Star of Bethlehem. So follow your inner star. follow the star you are. Be who you're meant to be. Libra is associated to the kidney meridian. And the kidney meridian, what does it do? It really cleanses the body fluids. It cleanses the blood. It cleanses the lymphatic system. So it's a big purification. We start the purification in Virgo, and it's really going through another sort of purification, because when the kidney meridian doesn't work properly, we don't have the courage and willpower, because the kidneys are related to our hereditary energy, but also they are the seat of courage and willpower. So it's when we have the fight-flight response. When this energy doesn't work, okay, we feel lonely, we feel paranoid, we feel insecure, we feel hysteric, we feel, because the kidney control growth and development of the bones. So, and bones is related to Capricorn. We know Saturn is in Capricorn, and it nourishes the kidney nourish also the marrow, which is the source of red and white cells. When the kidney don't work, we have a deficiency, anemia, or a deficiency with the immune system. Especially look at what's happening now. So poor memory, confusion, backache, and then the inability to think clearly. When the kidney meridian work properly, we have wisdom, we have clear perception, we have self-understanding, we have gentleness. So it is really a huge reservoir. So, and it's also related to ears and to hearing. So when you hear, what do you really listen to? When you really use your ear, what we really need to do is to listen. I still remember when I was doing an Orasoma course, listening to the star. I remember Mike Booth talking about the kidneys are as the ears of the inner star. The inner star sits 2 fingers above the navel, two fingers breath within. So, and then it's actually the energy, the area of the body just above the navel, okay, that is related to where we have the memory of the first cell. And that's, is the chi energy. A lot of energy sits, it's really located there, because it's our we have the stem cell there that are very healing, very powerful. And then when we were doing that course, I still remember Mike Booth talking about using our kidneys to listen to the star, to listen to the incarnation star, the inner star. So we need to center ourselves, listen to our inner voice, listen to our inner sound, listen to what we truly are, because also the kidney meridian is associated to royal blue, and the royal blue is the color of the third eye, which is intuition, and it's also related to the inner sound. So whether we look from one point or another, the message that comes through is exactly the same. We don't have to listen to what comes from the outer world, that in order to be someone and then mold us according to what the outer world has to tell us and what is asking from us. But we need to listen to the inner sound, to the inner voice, and act upon that. Be what we are going to be, who we are really meant to be. And because Pica is the star of Bethlehem, follow your inner star. Follow the star you are. Be who you are, and don't worry about what other thing, because when you love yourself, 16 is really about love, is the energy of love. What is love? Love is about changing yourself for others, or is about loving yourself, who you're really meant to be. We really need to shift the old way of being. So the question, what I would like to invite you to do is to really contemplate, Libra, ponder upon the question, what is love? But not in the sense of love in general, what is love? Because as St. Paul used to say, I could have anything anything, but if I don't have love, I'm nothing, I'm no one, I'm really nothing. Libra is taking us deeply into the depth, you know. This Mercury in Scorpio is going into the depth of ourselves, you know. The mind is in water, so into the emotional aspect of the self, to make us ponder upon that question: what is love? And then the answer that we are going to give is what's going to affect our life in the future. Because bear in mind that love is magnetic, and when we love what we truly are and who we truly are, and we act upon it, we can really love is magnetic and can attract into our life only itself love, which means nurture, peace. Love and peace are actually the same energy. Wishing you a wonderful super new moon in Libra. Wishing you to really connect, find the love that you carry, all of you carry within yourself, that is in your soul, and may that love guide you and really support you in manifesting that love, that energy in your life yourself. Have a lovely evening, and bye bye.